The 7th edition this year. So this time round, we're proposing an enriching opportunity for the corporation school students to learn and showcase innovative ideas to protect and conserve the environment through the program this year. And we planned it over 5 phases, which includes thematic workshops, experiential trips, project development, and a grand finale. We're also hoping that we get to take the winners to UK this year. So seeking the support of all of you, especially the ants and Rotarians, to make this program a huge success. The chairman is Rotarian Sujata, so she and the team has put in a lot of efforts over the planning stage. So please await more announcements on this regards from the team. I also have another announcement related to Project Annapathinam. In the last 7 months, from July to January, we've served 38,000 meals for a value of 9.8 lakhs. So thank you for your support and looking forward to more support from all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Divya. Awesome work at community service. I just got an update from Nachipan, who is not present here, is coming a little late, that the lake restoration project is going on extremely well. He has some pictures because of the shortage of time. I'm not able to play those pictures. Hopefully, we'll inaugurate this in the month of May or June. We go on to the main agenda. May I now request Rotarian Va to introduce our chief guest.
Thank you, President, and good evening to one and all. An intro, and then we get into the interactive session. Those were the grand old days when cinema and drama used to churn out pure, pristine, and pragmatic stories laced with humor. To name a few of those movies then, Then Nilavu, Kadhalikka Neramillai, Kasedan Kadavulada. On similar lines, if one wanted to name a few stage dramas, it was Washingtonil Thirumanam, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, Flight 172, Rahasiyam Parama Rahasiyam. Those were the grand old days when, other than going political, other than just emotions and dramatics, full-length comedy surely had a special place relished by Madarasis in particular. Anything said through these media had a purpose and would explicitly convey a message to the audience. Those were the grand old days when a movie or a stage drama should run 100 days or 100 shows to be announced as successful. Making money was surely on the cards, but lower down in the agenda. The 60s and 70s were the golden period when the maker of a stage drama enjoyed creating it as much as the fan in the audience enjoyed viewing it. The stage dramas being live gave them the unique advantage of adapting themselves to the prevailing political or social situation as they kept performing one show after another. I vividly remember the discussions at home on how to spend a whole evening at a sabha, planned a whole evening in advance, meant for the whole family, including how to go, where to eat, and make it a wholesome entertainment for one and all. While there were different genres of emotion that these stage dramas lived up to, I must reiterate here that the ones that still come back to our memory in waves, reverberating with joy, are the ones where the troupe's name was the ID and humor was the password. UAA, or United Amateur Artists Troupe, was foremost among them. Known not only for the quality of content and performance, it was very well known for the frequency of their shows and the proliferation with which they came out with a number of dramas one after the other. On the involvement and adaptability, the actors were good in knowing not only their role but also of their co-actors, that quite often they would take on another actor's role and still render a superb performance that would end up with a standing ovation from the audience. Adding to the color, it was their involvement in refurbishing their script very often to make it current and contemporary, and that was backed by the resounding enthusiasm and appreciation of drama goers in those days. Or drama, YG walks in and he says, English language, எத்தனை வார்த்தைகள் 26 இல்ல 23 தான் எல்ஐசி எரிஞ்சு போச்சு I vividly remember that evening in 1975 when the iconic LIC building on Mount Road caught fire. The information reached our friend here as he was about to stage that evening's drama, and he immediately incorporated that into the script. It was all about simple and pure humor. For instance, wife ஹால் உள்ள ஓடி வரா, பையன் ஊதுபத்தி ஸ்டாண்டை சாப்பிட்டான், பையன் ஊதுபத்தி ஸ்டாண்டை சாப்பிட்டான். தி ஃப்ரெண்ட் ஹூ செட்டிங் வித் தி ஃபாதர் அண்ட் டாக்கிங், என்ன சார் இவ்வளோ சத்தம் போடுறாங்க, நீங்கள் சும்மா இருக்கீங்க, அதை விடுங்க சார், எங்கள் வீட்டில் வாழைப்பழம் தான் ஊதுபத்தி ஸ்டாண்டு. 15 வயசு தான் என் பையனுக்கு, அப்பா ஆயிட்டான், என் பையன் அப்பா ஆயிட்டான். என்ன ஆச்சு? இல்லை இல்லை, மதம் மாதிரி கிறிஸ்டின் ஆகி ஃபாதர் ஆயிட்டானா. Right from his early teen days, he has been involved, he has been a witness, and he has been a survivor of all those paradigm shifts that the stage shows and dramas have gone through. Multitude of dramas have been conceived and created by UAA. They have performed 8,000 shows so far. In Chennai, in India and abroad as well, they have supported stage artists by the hundreds over the last 7 decades, seen at least a dozen actors from the troupe becoming stars in South Indian cinema. Well, I am going off at a tangent with this sort of information. Coming to specifics on this evening's guest, YG Mahendran, he is a product of Don Bosco School and studied chemical engineering at AC Tech Gindi. இல்லை போல் இருக்கு, இப்போ இருக்கு சொல்ல முடிஞ்சது. YG's father was a senior officer in the imports and exports department with the government. His mother, Dr. Rajalakshmi Parthasarathi, founded and mentored the PSBB group of institutions. His wife is Sudha, who we are happy she is here amongst us today, and they have a daughter Madhuvanti and a son Harshavardhan. YG has acted in 125 movies in over 5 decades.
280 and more.
அப்படியா? அப்போ you will have to update your... he has acted in 125 plus 155 movies over 5 decades, created 69 stage dramas over 6 decades, and has been a part of UAA that has seen 7 decades. And he is 7 decades old. However, and I can say this emphatically, he still remains the same old, humble, humorous human being whom I remember meeting for the first time in the early 60s. And this is an anecdote which I love telling. எங்கள் பெரியம்மா வீட்டில் பஜன் நடந்துகிட்ருக்கு. he is playing the tabla. அதை முடித்த உடனே பெரியம்மா is introducing one of the guests, a senior person, to the artist. இது யார் தெரியறதோனோ, இது யார் தெரியறதோனோ, இது யார் தெரியறதா, நம்ம வைஜி பார்த்தசாரதியோட பையன் மகேந்திரன். அப்படியா, நீ நல்லா தபலா வாசிக்கிறப்ப, வேற என்னெல்லாம் வாசிக்கிற? இல்லை, இந்த தபலா வாசிப்பேன், இப்போ நான் ட்ரம்ஸு வாசிப்பேன். நானும் மை கசின் சிட்டிங் பிஹைண்ட், he turns to us and says, ஹிந்து எக்ஸ்பிரஸ் கூட வாசிப்பேன், என்ன பண்ணுறது இப்போ? ஞாபகம் இருக்கா? At this point, I want to welcome Hari Shankar, the past president of Rotary Club of Irvine, because he is that cousin who was sitting next to me, or I was sitting next to him. And Harish, would you like to say a few words on YG?
If I start, I'll go on for a long time, but we have known each other for a very long time, going back into the 60s. And I can tell you that our relationship has just been so wonderful that every time we meet, it's almost like no years passed. So it's just a joy. Every time we meet, it's a lot of fun. And I want to thank YGM for keeping us all in great spirit.
Thank you, Harish. That was nice of you to share some thoughts. Similarly, a few more of YG's asides. தியேட்டரில் படம் பார்த்துட்டு இருக்காங்க. he is sitting there with his friends during the interval. வெளில போய் காஃபியோ கூல் ட்ரிங்கோ குடிச்சிட்டு As they come back to their seats, incidentally, I was sitting two rows behind. I found these friends were vying with each other, wanting to sit next to YG because he'll come out with comments as the movie is going on. எல்லாம் சண்டை போட்டு பக்கத்தில் உட்கார பார்க்குறாங்க. Suddenly a loud voice, எங்கே வேணா உட்காருங்கடா, அதே படம் தானே பார்க்க போகிறோம். And another one, which is from his AC Tech days, he comes running to his friends, ரொம்ப ஒரு கோமா, என்ன நம்ம ப்ரொஃபஸர் இவ்வளோ மோசமாக இருக்காரு, என்னாச்சு, குழந்தை பிறந்ததுன்னு சொல்லி கங்க்ராட் சொல்ல போனேன், எல்லாம் உங்கள் தாய் தானப்பா அப்படின்ட்டார் அவர். These are some samples of the simple, plain humor of those days.
Because we did music for his marriage. So on the crank
Was it music to your ears or?
not to his wife's ears.
So these are some samples of the plain, simple humor of those days. Friends, I can, as Harish mentioned, I can keep talking for a long time on this unique person, YG as he is fondly called. Now let us move on to the interaction. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Var. I request our chief guest to address us for a few minutes before we start the interaction. சார், எங்கள் கபில் வந்து 4 வைஜி மைண்டன் இருக்காங்க சார். தொல்லை தாங்க முடியல அவங்களுக்கு. ஒன்று வந்து உங்கள் பக்கத்தில் வாரு, அங்கே 2 பாஸ் பிரசிடென்ட் உட்காந்துருக்காங்க, ஆர்விகே அண்ட் ஷிவ். இன்னொருத்தர் ஜூமில் இருக்கார், ஹைதராபாத் இந்த சிவகுமார். வாட்ஸ்அப்பில் தாங்கவே முடியாது அவங்களுக்கு.
எனக்கு ஒரு ரோட்டரி கிளப்பில் ஐ ஸ்டில் ரிமெம்பர், ரொம்ப நேரம் ஆகிடுத்து ஆரம்பிக்கிறதுக்கு. அப்போ கடைசியில் பிரசிடென்ட் இந்த மாதிரி மிஸ்டர் வைஜி மகேந்திரா will now come and give his address. I just came and said 22 4th Seaward Road, வால்மீகி நகர், திருவான்மையூர்ட்டு போயிட்டேன். This happened long time back. அப்போ I was in T Nagar. ஏன்னா ரொம்ப போர் அடிச்சிட்டாங்க, சாரி தப்பாக எடுத்துக்காதீங்க. He will now give his address. Yes, my address into 14C North Crescent Road, T Nagarன்னு வந்துட்டேன். இன்றைக்கி அப்படி இருக்காது, பிகாஸ் வார், அவர் பேரே வார், எல்லாரையும் வாடுறதுக்குன்னு இருக்காங்க. I do not know how many years Var, Harish, our and families and our families, in fact I lost count, more than 50-60 years. It goes back to my parents and our munnadilend we know each other. So when they said he is going to coordinate things, I was happy and I was also a little apprehensive. ஏன்னா எல்லாருக்கும் எல்லார பற்றியும் தெரியும், அது கொஞ்சம் டேஞ்சரான மேட்டர். அது பரவாயில்ல, இட்ஸ் ஆல் ரைட். ஸோ ஆஸ் மீன் my